Episode 24, Subtlety. If Allah has the power to change your life in an instant, why does His guidance so often arrive through moments so quiet you barely recognize them? A conversation you almost ignored, a door that closed before you could step through it, a delay that unsettled you. Only later does the pattern begin to appear. What once felt like interruption begins to reveal a hidden precision. The path was not random, the timing was not careless, the arrangement was not empty. The Quran gives a name to the one behind that quiet architecture. Allahu latifun bi'ibadihi yarzuqu man yasha wa huwa al-qawiyyul aziz. Allah is subtle with His servants. He provides for whom He wills, and He is all-powerful, the Almighty. Surah Ash-Shura, verse 19. Much of what appears in life as coincidence, delay, or redirection belongs to a design too subtle to recognize while living inside it. Al-Latif is the one whose wisdom operates through imperceptible design. The Arabic root of Latif carries the meaning of something delicate, refined, and subtle, something so fine that it escapes ordinary perception. When scholars explain this name, they return to two inseparable meanings. The first is perfect perception. Allah knows realities too subtle for human awareness, the intention forming before a word is spoken, the fear beneath confidence, the wound hidden beneath pride. Nothing within the inner life of a human being is too delicate for His knowledge. The second is perfect orchestration. Because He knows the unseen layers within His servants, He arranges their affairs through pathways they themselves cannot perceive. He brings benefit through directions they would never have anticipated, and protection through forms they may initially misread. Knowledge and arrangements move together. He sees with perfect subtlety, and He governs with perfect subtlety. Allahu latifun bi'ibadi. Allah is subtle with His servants. This is not only a statement about who Allah is, it is a statement about how He deals with His creation. He does not only decree outcomes, He unfolds them through quiet arrangements, through meetings that redirect a life, through doors that close before harm enters, through delays that mature a person before the next stage arrives. Then the verse says, يَرُزُقُ مَن يَشَاءُ. He provides for whom He wills. Provision itself is part of the subtle design. It arrives through means, through relationships, through placement in the world, and sometimes through the removal of what might have harmed you. Then the verse ends with something striking. وَهُوَ الْقَوِيُّ الْعَزِيزُ. And He is the all-powerful, the Almighty. This changes how the entire verse is read. The one who is subtle with you is not subtle because he lacks power. He is Al-Qawi, the possessor of strength. He is Al-Aziz, the one whose authority cannot be resisted. He could impose His will instantly. He could force change with overwhelming clarity. Yet He chooses subtlety. Power is His capacity. Subtlety is His method. Human beings often expect divine action to be dramatic, thunder, interruption, unmistakable signs. But if every truth arrived in overwhelming form, trust would collapse into compulsion. If guidance came with force, choice would narrow. So Al-Latif governs quietly. He guides without coercing. He redirects without humiliating. He teaches through unfolding rather than imposition. The servant is not simply moved from one state to another. He is formed along the way. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم وأموالكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. Indeed, Allah does not look at your appearance nor your wealth, but He looks at your hearts and your deeds. Human beings judge what they can see, appearances, status, outcomes, but Allah looks at the heart. He sees the arrogance success might inflame. He sees the softness hardship might produce. He sees the sincerity hidden beneath confusion. Because He knows those unseen realities, His wisdom arranges events in ways that address them. What appears to you as delay may be protection. What appears to you as loss may be preparation. The servant sees events. Al-Latif sees the unseen layers those events are meant to touch. The striking thing about this name is that it is often recognized only in hindsight. You look back and realize that the friendship fading was a rescue, the disappointment was a redirection, the plan that collapsed made room for a life you could not have imagined while grieving the first. What felt like interruption was arrangement. The subtlety was there from the beginning. You simply could not see it yet. This name teaches a particular kind of faith. Not only faith after clarity arrives, but trust before it does. Al-Latif is the name that teaches you that divine design is not always loud. Sometimes it is a withheld thing. Sometimes it is a delayed thing. Sometimes it is a quiet sequence whose wisdom only becomes visible years later. Nothing in that subtlety is careless. Nothing in it is random. The one who governs your life with such delicacy is also the one who possesses all power. He knows what is hidden within you, and he arranges what unfolds around you with a precision you may only recognize later. Most people learn this name only when they look back and say, "Now I understand." The believer is asked for something more difficult and more beautiful, to trust Al-Latif before the wisdom becomes clear. So perhaps the real question this verse leaves behind is not whether Allah has been subtle with you. It is whether you can trust His wisdom while the design is still unfolding.